Good morning. Bonjour, 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 bonjour. Si gentil là avec nous. Chris Gentil is here. It's the morning show, Haiti Biz News Show. Comme toujours, moun qui pa connaît, blanc qui autant yon blanc radio là. Pomme dou, bah c'est paix. C'est petite nous qui là devant nous. Émission ça c'est en anglais parce que point chaud ça, c'est pour partager de l'information pour les frères et sœurs qui a dehors et moun qui ont compréhension de l'anglais ici tout, c'est pour nous tout. Et pour réseau m'expliquer déjà, c'est un business, c'est un show sur des affaires, des business, des investissements et les langues internationales pour cette chose c'est anglais. Anyways, ma division ça parce que nous sommes radio nous doit ça comme de base mais nous allons continuer reste là en anglais. Haiti Biz News Show, Monday to Friday, bringing you news that's going to keep you informed, engaged, and reacting in the most optimal way for your business investment and entrepreneurial activity. Today is the 3rd of September. Let's talk about it. I do want to thank everyone who showed up for the last episode. The views on that bad boy is truly impressive. Perhaps it's the bunch bump. I'm sure that was a big part of what happened, right? Got a great show today. We're here in the studio. Didn't think I was going to be in the studio. The fuel shortage issues are still going on and still going strong. Even myself haven't had enough gas to get to the station today. But whether or not I'm going to be able to get to the station tomorrow, that's a question of how lucky I can get today. Okay. I do know one of my commenters last time was, man, Chris, what's going on, man? You said uhs and ums too much, man. What's going on? You don't usually do your uhs and ums like that. Appreciate that comment. Keep me earnest. This is probably one of my old Toastmaster classmates. And my setup's a little different here in this studio, where usually what I have, my notes and everything are usually right in front of me. But they're a little off to the side, caused me to delay a little bit, and of course the natural body response is the but I will keep conscious of that. Don't you worry about that. You know what I mean? Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to see if I can. I promised you guys I was gonna be able to try to see the lives, chats, last time I was on air, and I'm still working on trying to do that. Let me see if I can pull up those chats so I can see folks who are trying to communicate with. Let me see something. Give me one moment. All right, on the very least, I got Facebook going. YouTube is not cooperating, but we'll try to work and figure that out at a later date. I'm not a big fan of this cask either, of this headphone, so we'll leave that to the side. It takes up too much of my pretty mug. Still a new cast, and we're working through the bugs, so excuse the pauses. So today, right, announcements. Didn't get a chance to do announcements last time I was on. Announcements. Of course, we had an awesome opportunity to visit Rev Cinema earlier this week. Rev Cinema, folks don't know this. A lot of folks don't know this. Too many folks don't know this. It's rather unfortunate. We do have a movie theater in Petionville. We have a movie theater in Haiti. Right, it was a great experience. I mean, it is, really cold in there. That's one of the first things I noted. It's cold, and that's a good thing, man. I mean, it's how hot you can get in PV in Haiti and Pap, and to have some place that you can just really just enjoy and get cold, right? That's a big plus. They have lots of food options. They have this really outside, like right around the theater, there's this massive food court on the third floor. It's really different, I can tell you that. They're going to be opening up a kitchen real soon too, so you may have a full meal right before or right after. And but if you haven't seen that episode yet, it's on YouTube. Seegenty, SEEJEANTY. YouTube Seegenty. Go take a look at that video, and then why not swing by and take a look at that theater itself. It's the only theater open right now in the country, and we Haitians, we deserve a movie theater going experience. So go ahead and check that video out if you haven't yet. All right. So today's conversation and talking points, we got an episode on inflation. So we have some new figures out from the Institut de Statistique de Informatique. And that's they're under the Ministry of Economics and Finance. They're in charge of stats that other countries track. And we are a country and we need to track those stats too. The stats that came out a few days ago was considering what's the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank on the word. But the metrics being provided, or the consumer price index, right? It's the basket of goods. I'm put on my economics professor hat for a moment. It's the basket of goods and the prices of those baskets of goods and the change of those prices. Okay, it's up 19% year over year. What does that mean? It's up 19%. That's high. That's high. In fact, I was supposed to include also comparatively other countries and other inflation rates around the world. Number one is Venezuela, and they're at 200 or 300,000% inflation. And we are actually on number 3, number 4. We have the dubious honor of sharing a list of the top 5 most inflated economies in the world right now. We're somewhere number 4, I believe. Other countries that we get to share that honor with are Iraq, South Sudan, and the final one I'm drawing a blank on. Right. It's a great honor to be on that list. 19%. Let's dive into those numbers. That's what we're here. That's what we're here for. We're here to dive into those numbers. Right. And I do see a little comment. I see some folks on my live. Appreciate you guys for coming in on Facebook. I see Aldine saying that's crazy. You were right, my dear. That is crazy. So let's dive into those numbers, right? So food. Let me try to keep the mic in front of me here. The food and non-alcoholic beverages are at 22.4% year over year. All right, keep track. I'm going to be throwing a lot of figures at you guys, so keep track now, okay? All right. We have apparel, goods, and shoes at 19% year over year. Housing, water, gas, electricity, other fuels. Okay, that's a grouping. 16.2%. We have health at 27.8%. We have leisure at 32.2%. And restaurants at 24.6% year over year. Wow. Right. Yeah. Right. The folks in America, it's a crisis when we have inflation at about 3%. I mean, that's you have it about 3, heck, even 2.5%, and you have the central bank holding emergency meetings, right? You have senators trying to figure out how to ingest money into the local domestic economy to put a stop to the quote unquote rampant inflation that may be happening. You have presidents on the chopping board, right? Because the economy is going to crap under their watch. But in Haiti, we can get to 19.1 year over year. And back then, but we're not talking politics here. We won't go that far just yet. And let's dive into it, right? So I said food and non-alcoholic drinks are at 22.4%. But let's what does that mean, right? So let's dive into that bucket and let's take a look and see what's going on, right? We have rice at 16.4% increase year over year. We have ground corn 27.9%, biscuits 25.8%, meat 23.8%, cod 19.2%, eggs now 30.6%, mild powder 28.6%, mango 31.4%, coconut 25.2%, cabbage 18.7%, yam 31.6%, sweet potato at 28.1%. And I can tell you, the prices, when you go to the store, I mean, the prices were always pretty high. As someone who conducts his affairs in dollars, I was never in pain, right? Well, let me say this. I was never viscerally in jeopardy, right? But I was in pain, I can say that, right? When you go to the store and you're used to buying things, you know, I don't know how many folks that are listening to me right now know about Walmart, okay, on the Haitian radio stations, but certainly my streams, they can appreciate this. Going to Walmart and you're paying, you know, this is a single guy. I'm a single guy, okay, going to and buying 1 week's worth of food, spending $50 for the week, and I'm good. Walk out. But here in Haiti, I'd be lucky to spend $100, right? $100. U.S. now. This is U.S. We. Right, and that's me. I don't. The vast majority of Haitians, of course, they do it differently, though. I must say, you know, they go to the marchand and they haggle, negotiate, right? And I know if I did things in that manner, I'd probably get a cheaper rate. But I get double salmon. I don't have time to go there. I shop predominantly at the grocery stores here in Haiti. And you pay for that convenience, right? But nonetheless, you know, the marchands, they're still having to increase their price because at the end of the day, a lot of what they get from the dipples is imported. A lot of what they get from dipples is imported, right? And even when you have strictly domestic goods come, you know, that these marchands, again, when I say marchands, from folks who watch me abroad, marchands are the street vendors. Okay, street vendors. When I say marchand, I'm referring to the street vendors, right? The food seller, the fruit sellers is what I'm referring to. Okay, for example. So when I even the marchands, when it comes time to buy their products, okay, the price of what's being imported is going to influence the domestic price. Just the way it works. You know, there'll be some undercutting, but not nearly as much, right? Let's keep looking through the categories here. Within apparel and goods, right, we have dress shirts at 22.4% increase year over year. Shirts at 23.1%. Men's trousers at 22.7%. Propane gas at 33.4%. Charcoal at 24%. Okay. Health. Let's look at the health category. Let's break the health down. We have corrective glasses at 27.8%, and hospitalization costs. This is what the cost to go to hospital now, right? Already very high in the country. Already very seldomly found in the country vis-a-vis other countries. It's 21%. 21%. I know Americans appreciate health costs, right? When I talk about this. And in America, the richest country in the world, it's already very expensive and difficult for health. We're in Haiti. 21%. Let's keep it moving. Let's see. Leisurely activities, computers, television, radio, those products are under this category, under leisure activities. 38.4%. Last year, if you had bought a laptop, you would have saved almost 40% versus what the price is today. Television, 33.3%. Radio, 34.2%. Wow. Let's keep it going. Restaurants, 24.6% year over year. I mean, this is to eat meals, like the takeout or eating in the restaurant. We've seen a 24.6% increase in that price. When we look at the regional levels, right, and this is just month to month, right, we've seen just last month about 2% increase across in all regions. All right. So here's my take on this, right? And a big part of it, we've talked about this before at the Haiti Biz News, what's driving inflation, other times when it's been reported and we've talked about it on air. Understand that a big part of it is being driven by a devaluating currency, right? It takes a lot more currency to buy product, right? But even vis-a-vis the decrease of our currency, other things have really increased that price. Political instability has messed up the supply chain for a lot of different things, and that's driven the food price up as well. A big part of that has been driven the price up as well. It makes the cost of doing business more, all right, for all points along the supply chain. Getting stuff out the port because the increase in violence, gang activity, has made things very expensive as well. Things again at Port Léogane. Port Léogane, for those who don't know, that's the port. That's the main port in Port-au-Prince that a lot of product period comes through into the country. It's very hard to get products out the country, out of the port, because of the massive increase of activity and the inability of the PNH to get control of that area. As vitally important as that area is, right? It's been very, very difficult for them to be able to get control of it. And other factors, many other factors, right? There's been a sentiment amongst many folks doing business here that, things aren't going where it needs to be, at least under this presidential administration, which has really discouraged a lot of inward investment towards potentially improving the situation. Now, how do we get out this hole, right? We're not just here to share problems. That's what everyone else does on the radio and media when it comes to Haiti. Well, let's talk about some solutions. Let's talk about some problems. Let's talk about some business concepts that can potentially help us out here. First and foremost, I got to tell you, we need domestic production. There's no way we're getting out this hole without domestic production. We need folks to come in. We need folks to set up not just bar restos, not just to build a home, a retirement home, not just to build hotels. They're needed, sure, but we need folks to come in. And so let me give you an example. On Route 4, there's a building that was built recently, and what that building is doing, in part producing, is bread. Right? I've actually stopped by, tasted it. Pretty good. Just white bread. Now, legally, white bread is technically illegal. It should be an enriched white bread. I don't know if it is enriched white bread or not, but it's very tasty, I tell you. Right? And I'm like, man, this is a brilliant idea. And they're selling. I mean, they're moving product. Let me tell you, I see stuff going in. I see stuff going out. They're providing their bread to the Mashans. There's a good friend of mine. I'm not going to put her name out on the radio like this just yet anyways, but she came in with a group of investors and set up a multi-million-dollar cereal producing company. And what she does is she sells her packets of cereal in small little bags. Again, not the big bags we're used to in America with the big cardboard and stuff like that, though she does also sell it like that as well. But to really move the product, she puts it in the hands of Mashans. Again, that's the key. The Mashans, they have the supply chain, the retail space figured out already, right? They have a clientele, they have a basis. People come back to one specific Mashan every single time. They have it figured out. So what they do is a lot of these, the businesses here who are really producing wholesale, they produce them in sizes that can help the Mashan push and sell at a price point that makes sense. Right? So that's just another example. Right? That's just another example. We need that. We need more of that happening. In food, people got to eat. So vis-a-vis other industries, there's going to be a demand for you, right? And a big part of why the percentages here that I just shared are so disturbing. Yeah, I had these other categories, but the fact that food category is high. So that is, they've been talking about famine in the country, right? And the food prices are a big reason why there's been talks of that, right? Now, it's going to take a visionary, and let's just be blunt. I know a lot of my business people out here. Listen, I don't. That's all great emotions and famine. Listen, let's talk money. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. All right? Just listen. Let's just be real cold and calculating about it. Let's just have a frank conversation. From a business person perspective, inflation is good, right? Inflation means a price was $1 today, and it's going to be $1.20 tomorrow. That's what inflation means, right? An increase of price, right? Now you multiply $1 versus 10 product, $1.19 versus 10 product. You're going to have more money a year from now because you're selling your product at $1.19. Okay? This is just looking at straight revenue. I know there's some people who are going to give me, we can go in more detail about that, but just straight up just looking at the revenue section of your balance sheet, you're making more money just because of the inflation rate. That's reason alone to come to the economy. Let me win or fall into $100 million. I'm going to be looking for economies that have high inflation rates to invest in, because what that means is you're going to see an increase in price no matter what, and thus increase in revenue. Right now, how you gérer situation, how you manage your business is going to determine whether you're actually profitable. But it always helps when the revenue line by itself, with no effort, is going to go up. I see a comment on my Facebook. I see Mark L. T. Zaley. What up, my brother? Political instability. HUG. Not sure what that meant. And so I think that's, we're pressing up against time right now, so I am going to have to keep it short. But of course, there's other things we can talk about in terms of what needs to be done. Ultimately, the action needs to happen from the government level. Ultimately, we need a government that incentivizes domestic production, has the courage to say no to rampant imports from countries that aren't providing, at the end of the day, imports are great for prices, but terrible for providing jobs and ultimately improving the structure of the economy. We have to improve the import tax structure that just blindly taxes everything without regard. Certainly, I've mentioned that potentially agriculture should be taxed like 50%. Technology and cars and things that we don't produce and we're not going to be producing here in the country for a long time should be at potentially 0%. Right, but things that we should be producing here domestically, like agriculture, should be taxed to the hilt to encourage domestic agricultural production. Right, I guess we can talk more about this in a future episode, but that is sort of that's the direction we need to go. But of course, you, the person watching, the person looking to impact and do change, think about businesses that you can open in the country that will leverage either agriculture in the raw form, or can become a producer, right? Can change that product. For example, buying fruit and then making those fruit become dry fruit. That's just to give you another idea, right there, right? That can sell. Okay. And the one thing I'm just mentioning really quick is going to be on about the The fuel situation, we're keeping an eye on it. They're supposed to be getting better. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Hope I can get some gas today. If not, I may be in my office tomorrow. We'll see. So fingers crossed on that. And that's where we're going to end it. I want to thank folks for coming in on the stream, coming in on time. I know it's a little early in the morning. I'm not sure what folks are doing right now, but I do appreciate you guys for showing up and being a part. Of course, those who may be watching later, still appreciate that. Leave a comment. I read it. I look them over. I'll say something. You may not like what I say. I may not agree with your worldview, but I'll say something. Potentially. Right? Again, if you like what we're doing here, we're doing it every single morning, Monday to Friday, right? 6:30 to 7, right? Follow me on YouTube, Seejanty, SEEJEANTY, right? Follow me on Facebook, SEEJEANTY, Seejanty. Follow me on Instagram, SEEJEANTY. Follow me. Hit that follow, hit that subscribe. After you finish watching the video, hit that like button. Okay? And listen, guys, until we're back at it again, we'll be back at it again. Peace.